Welcome to Northern California. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area on campus in Berkeley for Pac-12 women's gymnastics. Today at Haas Pavilion, national powers collide. Number 2 California taking on number 16 Oregon State. Hi, everyone. Alongside Elisa Mao, I'm Brian Weber. It's great to have you with us. There are a variety of ways to frame this highly anticipated meet. Quite simply, it's a top 20 showdown.
A top 20 showdown led by your top all-arounder in the country in Maya Lazan from Cal and the reigning Olympic gold medalist on floor exercise, Jade Carey. Should be a great one. Let's
take a look at the national rankings. Once more, the Conference of Champions well represented with 5 Pac-12 schools in the top 25, led by number 2 California in the second spot for the second consecutive week.
And that is the highest ranking in school history. I expect them to exceed that average today, as they have the last 2 weeks.
Justin and Liz Crandall-Howe have led the resurgence of Cal gymnastics quite fittingly as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the program.
And this 50th year is led by Maya Lazan. She has been so incredible, the reigning Pac-12 Gymnast of the Week, as I mentioned, your top-ranked all-arounder in the country. And she does that because she is so superb on all 4 events. The bars, arguably her weakest event, where she went 9.875 last week. She has been near 10 on every other event this year. You see those huge scores, that 9.975 on beam last week in Seattle. She has the beautiful blend of technical precision and also great artistry. Love this double twist stick to the end of that beam routine.
The Bears also getting a key contribution from Madeline Williams, a force on the bars, ranked number 4 in the country.
That's the event that Cal has been known for, the bars, where Maddie Williams anchors. She, I think, is the next to get a 10 on that event. She also does the all-around. They have 4 incredible all-arounders on that team.
Oregon State, of course, led by one of the best in our sport, Olympic gold medalist Jade Carey.
And you'll just see her on 2 events tonight because she is indeed preparing to try to qualify for the Paris Olympics. So this beautiful double twisting Yurchenko vault that we got so used to seeing, you won't see that tonight. Hopefully we see that in Paris this summer. But where you will see her is the uneven bars, where she is ranked number 4 in the country, tied with Maddie Williams from Cal.
Skating for Tanya Chaplin in her 27th season. She has seen and done it all in her marvelous career in the Pacific Northwest as Carey ramps up to defend potentially that Olympic gold medal with the Summer Games coming up in Paris, as Oregon State looks to their future as well with Sophia Esposito. She's the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week.
And those anchor spots that they needed to fill from Jade Carey are being filled by Sophia Esposito. In just her 3 meets as a freshman, she has scored over 9.9. She sticks her vault the last 2 meets in a row she has. Tanya Chaplin so excited with how that freshman has performed so far.
With loads of star power on display for both teams as Oregon State gets ready to start on bars. Here's the lineup, anchored by the incomparable Jade Carey. Beavers currently number 5 in the nation. That's their best event. Cal will begin on the table. California has been so versatile this year, shining on vault as well. Number 2 in the nation. And we'll see the start of the competitive afternoon for 3 all-arounders for Cal: Maddie Williams, MJ Frazier, and Maya Lazan. Another big crowd gathered here at Haas Pavilion. You can see the countdown clock in the background, seconds away from Oregon State and California. All time, the Beavs have dominated things head-to-head, 93-11. But most of those victories came before the renaissance of Cal gymnastics. Last year, it was dead even inside historic Gill Coliseum as you get the tail of the tape for Cal on the vault. 197-375, a draw. Jade Carey, who was participating in the all-around last year, 39-8-25 to win that championship, as we laid out a modified schedule this year, ramping up for the Olympic Games. As we look at both lineups, here's the most promising thing for Oregon State as the road team beginning with their best events.
Yeah, it's really great for them to lead off on bars. They've been so strong there. Obviously, Jade Carey in the anchor spot. That 49.625 the first week is one of their school top scores that they have ever gotten. They've really been bolstered by some youth in that lineup, made a lot of improvements on bars.
And Tanya Chaplin's team coming off their best meet of the early season so far, 197.575 last week against Brown. Here is the athlete that we highlighted moments ago, Maddie Williams, getting the all-around underway.
And that Yurchenko layout full vault done very technically well. Took that big hop back. She's actually stuck the last 2 weeks. But a very clean start. So I mentioned that start value because this vault, if it were done perfectly, would score a 9.95. That's probably about a 2/10 hop backwards. But the last 4 athletes in the Cal lineup will start out of a 10.0.
As you hit on Maddie, coming off a fine performance last week at UW, 9.875 a year ago, second team All-American on the vault. Ellie Weaver set to begin her competitive afternoon, the sophomore from Vancouver, Washington, moving up from the second position last week, leading off in the first of 3 events.
And this release move here, the Ginger, she fell last week, beautifully done today, has very nice extension and precision. I like the pace that she moves on bars. It's very fluid. She does not look rushed or nervous and holds those handstands beautifully. Let's see if she can nail the landing just to slide back with the left foot. Otherwise, very clean routine.
Rebounding from that wobbly routine last week. Season high 9.9 a couple weeks ago against Rutgers.
And that blind full pirouette into this double tuck, you'll see that done a lot in college gymnastics. And she does it well, lands in the handstand. And, you know, my view here is not the best. I don't know if she actually did slide that foot or not. We'll see what the judges do with it.
That's why the judges have a better vantage point. Only routine this afternoon as we await the score of Maddie Williams. And it's a fine number, 9.825, performed by Casey Brown, sophomore from nearby Los Altos here in the San Francisco Bay Area. She's gone 9.875 the last 2 meets. Personal best 9.9. She's been a mainstay on the table since arriving here in Berkeley.
And Coach Justin Howell, you'll see on the right side there, he said that they have the potential to put 7 or 8 10.0 vaults in their lineup. Casey is one of them who can do the Yurchenko 1.5, that forward landing, but it's a decision that they have to weigh whether they want to potentially risk a larger deduction on the higher value vault, or she can do the vault you'll see here technically very well. She scored consistently, so it's a decision that they make going into every meet. Even in the warm-up just before, like we saw, their lineup changed within 3 minutes of us starting.
And excellent coaching by Justin with the momentary delay, having the conversation with Casey to keep her focused.
Excellent vault.
Nice. Saw the reaction in the background of John Carty. Tough to miss with his unique hair as the bear head goes on, and the visuals told the story. That was a clean routine in most aspects.
Yep, she's got a nice straight body position, just the tiniest of slides back. Does a good job showing the finish position, that new element in college gymnastics. The gymnasts have to hold a finish position to show the judges that they are in control for 1 second before they turn and present. Otherwise, they face a half-tenth deduction.
Weaver, 9.85 to get the Beeves underway on bars. Natalie Briones, first of 3. The junior from Gilbert, Arizona, coming off a season-high 9.85 last week.
And she does this very common Maloney down to a pack salto. Nicely done from my angle, just a tiny leg separation on that pack. Does a very nice double layout dismount here after good extension on her handstand. And a great job again, just a tiny slide back. Otherwise, super clean. She won the Pac-12 Coaches Choice Award earlier this season. Has made great strides on the offense.
And a good history against California. You'll recall her personal best, 9-9 against the Golden Bears last year at Gill Coliseum. So a quality starts early on. As Oregon State's competing in their first conference dual meet, round the 9-8. You mentioned the late change. Here is Jaden Silvers, initially projected to be the anchor on vault, now moving up in the lineup. And personal history this afternoon, she has performed in exhibitions, but the sophomore from Culver City here in the Bay Area is getting set for her major college debut.
And she will show that Yurchenko 1.5 vault. Coach Hal said she has been ready to do this. She was the alternate at Nationals last year on this Cal roster, but they are so deep on vault. And like I said, they're trying to get 10-0s across the lineup, and you have to have a debut performance like this to give her the competition experience to grow that confidence on this vault. And a great job by Jaden Silvers on her debut vault. So nerve-wracking to do that at home for the first time. There was a little bit of a leg separation when she blocked off the table and then took that hop forward. But again, her spot in the lineup today is about confidence building and building up for Cal to get those 6 10-0 start values.
And in our conversation with Justin Howell just prior to the meet, he said she earned the opportunity based on an outstanding week of practice, and as you alluded to, reflecting the depth of this California roster. 9.825 for Briones. That's for the only time this afternoon we spotlight Taylor DeVries, the true freshman from Roscoe, Illinois, trained with Legacy Elite Gymnastics. 9.875 last week against Brown to win the events.
And that club team you mentioned is known for their bars prowess. Andy Lee, a couple other Cal athletes competed for there. And this is exceptional so far. Great extension, beautiful toe point, and too much on that double layout, overcooked it a little bit. So probably about a 2/10 deduction on the step. And then I would say she didn't hold that finished position, especially when you take a step. It can be hard to stop, regain your composure before you salute. So let's take a look at it again. It's a gorgeous double layout. Nice chest up when she landed, but just those shoulders got behind her feet, and so had to take that pretty large step and didn't quite show control before she saluted to the judges.
Silvers delivers in her college debut. 9.775, and now one of the best athletes in the nation coming off a sensational freshman year. MJ Frazier gets the all-around underway.
And check out double twisting Yurchenko vault. We saw Jade Carey do it in the open, and MJ Frazier doing it live for us. The hardest vault being done in college gymnastics today. Takes that step back. Again, it's a decision. She can also do a full. She could water it down, but they want to show how much power and how technically strong they are on vault. Big hop there, but so much potential.
Matched her career high with a 9.9 a couple weeks ago. Coming off a 9.85 last week on Montlake, the meet you called. And MJ always camera ready with the Go Bears, a second team All-American in this discipline last year.
It's been so fun to watch. She and Maya Lazan push each other. They keep breaking each other's records, really rewriting the books here for the Cal team.
I think about the Frazier family. We called the meet last year between UCLA and Cal, and great to have Mark Zeta in year 6 competing for UCLA. I think you hit on where that score was going for Taylor. 9.8 flat. Here is Jennifer McMillan, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina. First 2 events. We'll see her on bead coming up.
Very nice toe on to start, and there's her Maloney to a bail handstand. Nicely done. Gears up for her double layout. She's one of the athletes they recruited for her expertise on this event, and gets the first stick for the Oregon State lineup today. Nice control, very clean.
Reminiscent of the 9.95 she put up against Utah last March. She matched it in the opener this year, the Super 16 in Las Vegas, went 9.85 a week ago.
There were very few deductions I saw there. Take a look at her positions on this double layout. Nice and open. Hollows out a little bit on that layout. That's where I could take just a tiny bit. You want to see the body perfectly straight until they hit the floor.
California continues to come at any opponent with waves of talent. 9-9 for MJ, setting the stage for Lausanne. Number 2 in the country on the table. Went 9.975 a couple weeks ago for a new personal best. 9.925 last week.
If she can stick this forward-facing vault, it is arguably one of the best in the country. Based on her ranking, phenomenally done. Just a tiny bounce in place. You know, it's so hard to have all of that energy, all the momentum, and then be expected to freeze. It really is ludicrous that these gymnasts can stop on a dime. The vault just drops out of the sky. Does a really great job trying to squeeze into the floor. Good block, nicely done. And you know, that 9.975 means one judge threw a 10. I see a 9.95 from one. Can't quite see it. So no 10 on vault today. We'll see what the other 3 events hold.
Going to be large, though, either way. And I love the reaction of John Carney, who coincidentally graduated from Oregon State. McMillan, the best so far for the Beavs. 9.875. Here is Sage Thompson, who was under the weather last week. She's feeling better this afternoon, but will only compete in 2 events. We'll see her on the vault next.
Sage is an exceptional bar worker. Good job getting her grip around on that Maloney. Looked a little bit far. In her career at Utah, she did score a 10 on this event, so shows you where her potential is. She can hone in on this landing.
Came in March of 2022 for the Red Rocks. A little bit of a wobble on the business end, but a comprehensive approach.
Yep, just let go of the bar a little bit too early on that dismount, so didn't quite have the rotation to really nail it. So you see this double layout across their lineup. It's fun to get to compare them all. And she really was trying for the stick there, almost trying a little too hard, which led to that slight hop forward.
At a 9.9 in the opener, number 12 in the nation on bars. 9.925 for Lausanne. What a 1-2 punch that is. Frazier and Lausanne, and here is Kyan Mayu, the freshman from Arizona, to close things out.
Another phenomenal 1.5. Kyan's debut. A few weeks ago, she nailed that cold for a 9.95. Just a tiny hop on this one, but really has worked on her technique and gaining confidence on this vault. Has a nice block, arms a little bit bent on the table, legs a tiny bit bent in that last half twist, but great air awareness to find the landing.
Trained with the Desert Devils, as you mentioned, making the most of her opportunities. Coming off a 9.8 last week at UW. That should be a better score. Maximizing her only routine. Thompson 9.8 flat. Jade Carey, a sight to behold whenever we're lucky enough to be involved with one of her meets. She has an exquisite resume in our sport. The Olympic gold medalist with a modified schedule this year to focus on her Olympic aspirations. Here on bars, a perfect 10 last year against the Stanford Cardinal. Last week, a 9.875. Went 9.975 in each of the first 2 weeks.
Does a great combination right off the top. The Maloney to the full twisting hack salto, named after Mohini Bhardwaj. Tiny back break on the handstand before she went into that 3rd release move. So much difficulty from top to bottom, and then her full out here normally finds the landing. Unfortunately, has to take that step back.
But the crowd reacting to yet another phenomenal moment for Carey, and she'll close out our competitive afternoon We'll have the final routine on beam for the Beavs.
So this skill here, the full twisting hack salto, one of the most difficult releases being done in college. And then you'll see that cast handstand before this movement, she arched her back a little bit. So that'll be a deduction. And then this full twisting double back, so high above the bar. Watch the height. And then stands up a little too fast. And what that finish deduction has done for these gymnasts is made them sometimes overthink the end of that routine. And they, last year she would have just turned around and saluted the judges and sold that stick. But this year she had to show a little bit more control.
And this is an exhibition as we have a chance to highlight other athletes. Ella Cesario has the crowd on its feet. And John Carney and I need a podcast. I'm infatuated with his response. We will do the math now that the first rotation is complete. Good start for both teams. It's California and Oregon State here on Pac-12 Network. Here at Haas Pavilion, both teams breaking 49 to get us underway. Cal not too far away from their season high on the vault. That was a 49.525 a couple weeks ago. At a quad meet in Utah, they have the slim 0.15 lead as we take you through the highlights. Spotlighting Madeline Williams. We talked about her moments ago. She can be dynamic on bars.
Yeah, she started on vault with that 9.825. She's so confident in the leadoff position for them. And then she'll move to the anchor roll on bars for them, where she's arguably, they have so many phenomenal technical gymnasts on bars. Coach Justin Howell and John Carney spent a lot of time with the athletes on little details that you'll see from the Cal lineup that separate them from other teams. Their legs are always glued together. Their arms are really straight. I like their handstand pirouettes on the low bar. They always land in the handstand. Just these little details that separate them from other teams and land them at the top of the national rankings where you find them now.
Well, you described it so aptly. Here are the pictures.
So this Maloney, you'll see her feet are glued together. Often gymnasts' feet come apart on both that Maloney and that pack. I love this angle because you can see that they never come apart on the landing there. They're allowed to be a little bit apart for athlete safety, but then she clicks the heels together and shows the stick. It's very hard to find deductions in Madeline Williams' bar routines.
With a career high of 9.975. Coming up, we're going to reflect on the evolution of this program here in Berkeley. But first, we're going to let you know the future is now for Sofia Esposito.
And we talked about this freshman in the Open. She has been so great on vault. She has stuck the last 2 weeks in a row. Don't want to jinx her. She's gone 9.9 on her Yurchenko full. Last week, you'll see how technically perfect she is on the table. She's so strong. Beautifully done. Finds the landing. Again, I said this vault is out of a 9.95. It's the best that she can get, and she goes 9.9. That average just below that 9.9 mark. She also trains the Yurchenko double. Coach Michael Chaplin said that's something that, maybe they'll put in later in the season for her, but since she's scored so high on that full, again, it's just sort of a risk-reward decision that these coaches can make.
There are the details. We'll take it one gymnast at a time. We are focusing on one of 3 conference meets today. Stanford taking on a very good Arizona team. John Court getting it done in Tucson with the Gym Cats ranked at number 19. And later on tonight, here on Pac-12 Network, we'll take it live to Westwood. Number 15, UCLA against UW last night. As you scan the details of California on the bars. Another big number for number 5, Utah, going over 197 to defeat Arizona State. Back with more after this. The unique stylings of the Straw Hat Band serenading us here in Berkeley as we get ready for the second rotation. You see all the details, nothing but 49 plus for California. That's why they're ranked number 2 in the nation for the second straight week, highest ranking in program history. They're number 2 in the nation on bars, season high. That 49.55 you see week 1 in the Super 16. And we're getting ready to see Andy Lee, who's terrific in this event.
Yep, Andy Lee will lead us off on bars and on beams. She is so exceptional on both of those events. She can do all 4 events, but again, this is a time to test depth, to give that handstand, but beautiful control on the blind full into the double tuck and nails the landing. Good hold, good finish, phenomenal from start to end.
Should be better than that 9.85 last week in Seattle, season high 9.9.
I mean, the height of that, she completely finished the flip and almost caught the bar at horizontal. That's the best you'll see that move done. And really good hold and precision on that blind full, and then the double tuck. Her legs are together, her toes are pointed. So precise.
Monday flat for Natalie. For the first time this afternoon, here is Caitlin Garcia, junior from San Diego. First of 2 events. She'll also compete on floor. And she's been locked in lately, coming off a career high tying 9.85 last week.
Very nicely done. Just to slide back. She can also do that 1.5. Just very clean. Nice and straight body. I like flaring out the arms to show the control in the air awareness that she has.
Well, we talk so much about the brilliance of Maya Lozan. 9.925 on vault to get things going. Go back to last week when she went 39.775, matching the number that MJ Frazier put up the week before. The best in Cal history. And the all-around, Lee, a 9.875. Here on bars, Maya was spectacular a week ago. New personal best, 9.95.
Really clean thus far. Tiny bit over on that handstand pirouette. You want to land within 10 degrees of vertical. She nailed that handstand on the top. Let's see if she can nail the dismount, and she does. Great landing, great routine from Maya Lozan.
That could be a gargantuan number, reflecting why she's number 1 in the nation in the all-around.
Yep, so you'll see this half pirouette there was a little bit past vertical, so you can be within 10 degrees. Depends on how picky the judges are, and again, our angles are different. That's, I would say, is one of the only errors on this routine. Really good job of reining in that landing. Like I said, you can land with your feet apart. You just have to be able to close your heels together, almost like first position in ballet, to show proof of that stick.
Scores starting to build. Small sample size from the 9.8 flat to the 9.825. Sydney Gonzalez first of 2 events.
A different looking vault, full twist onto the vault, and then a pike off. That is the lone 10.0 start value in the Beavers lineup. Don't see it quite as often as you do the Yurchenko full or 1.5. So she's supposed to do a full twist before her hands hit the table. Didn't quite get that full twist in there. It's so challenging, but nice piked position and better repulsion off the vault. Some people, it's hard to get a good block because the technical angle that you have to hit the table in is hard to achieve when you're doing that full twist. So nice, clean 10.0 vault from Sydney.
I thought Lozan would have a bigger number, but my vote does not count. Just give you a footnote to Sydney Gonzalez, coming off a Sydney high, season high for Sydney, 9.875, and we foreshadowed Ella Cesario, who typically competes in the all-around with the EXO on the table. First of 3 events that count coming up. The junior from Illinois at 5'7", has such wonderful lines, matched her personal best with a 9.9 a week ago.
Good handstand to start. Here's her straddle Jaeger. Beautiful height and nice overshoot to the low bar. That's not intended to land in the handstand. It's okay that she's at that horizontal mark. And here's her double layout dismount. Nice and stretched. Just the step back. Ella also trained at Legacy Elite. They have great technique on those Jaegers. They're about as high as you will see them. Here's this somersault. So she does a blind change, turns around, and then launches above the bar on that front flip and connects it right to the low bar. What that does is it eliminates another handstand that she has to do on the low bar. Less error, room for deduction when you connect those two elements together.
Good number for Gonzalez, 9.875 for the only time today. Here's Olivia Buckner, true freshman from Riverton, Utah, 5-time state champion prior to coming to college. A pair of 9.725s, but fell last week, looking to rebound today.
Yep, and I misspoke earlier. Olivia will do a 10-0 start value here. She will do a 1.5. So important forward landing. Coach Chaplin talked about the improvement that she's made week over week, and really important for her to just feel confident in her ability to do this vault in competition like she can in practice. And she was a little bit flat on the table. Her shoulder angle was closed, so it prohibits her from getting the rebound that she needs to complete that full 1.5 twist and land on her feet. So unfortunately, that's just the risk that you take, but really important to build those 10-0 start values into your lineup, and you got to practice it. And I have no doubt that Olivia Buckner is going to go back to the gym, keep working hard, and nail that future meets.
Better days to come.
Yep.
Is it me or the judges being a touch stingy on bars?
Yeah, these scores are, I would say, at least a half-tenth low, given the technical precision that Cal has on these bar routines. There are no built-in deductions. We've had a few landing errors, but I think they're being tighter on Cal than they were on Oregon State.
Gabby Perea certainly can go big. First of 2 events, number 13 in the nation here on bars.
And I love her command of the bars. She's so smooth. That Van Leeuwen release move just floats between the bars. There's no stress from her on this event. It looks so easy and just the tiniest of hop forwards from my angle, but a beautiful, precise routine. So this Van Leeuwen release move here, super difficult between the bars. Look at the handstand position going into it. Just exquisite and keeps the form. Knees are straight, legs together. And then get a better angle on her double layout. And I mean, inches, the tiniest hop. But she's stoked as she should be.
That'll serve her well on beam coming up. Almost matched her personal best with a 9.95 in the opener, Super 16. Buckner now giving the Beavs no margin for error, looking to drop that 9.3. Sage Thompson went 9.8 on bars here on the table. A pair of 9.85s this year.
Excellent job. Sage Thompson has so much experience and showed it there. She was not phased at having to come after an athlete who fell on that Yurchenko full. You know, she didn't have the best shoulder position on the table, so she had to pike it down a little bit. You see the shoulders are closed when she blocks, so she pikes around the corner, but has great air awareness to find the landing, just the tiniest of hops, but a good rebound for the Beavers.
Wrapping up her day, feeling better after she couldn't compete last week. All around her first couple of meets for Oregon State. 9.875, flirting with the 9.9 for Gabby. Frazier went 9.9 on vault. Here on bars, she is sensational. She's qualified for the World Championships. Personal best, 9.95, went 9.925 a couple weeks ago. You saw her last week in Seattle on 9.85.
Now on the bars for Cal, MJ Frazier.
She will do what's sort of the, I hate to call it compulsory bar routine, but we've seen it a few times. This Maloney, nice legs together. I love that angle to the pack salto, nice and floaty. There's her half pirouette. And And she will close with a double out. She took a step back last week. Let's see if she can nail it today.
MJ Frazier delivers.
Wow.
Get out those terrible towels here in Berkeley.
Yeah, that was exceptional. It was truly clean start to finish. I couldn't see the half pirouette on the low bar, so that would be the only thing. But look at the double layout position. Shoulders are up in a safe landing position and a perfect landing.
She is so much fun to watch, with two more routines coming up as she maneuvers forward in the all-around.
And she's an example of the incredible technical coaches that they have at Cal in the Howells and in John Carney. Her gymnastics, the basics of her gymnastics are improving every day.
Here comes the reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. Sophia Esposito begins her competitive afternoon. Back-to-back 9-9. She's won 2 titles on the table.
And I must have jinxed her because she didn't get the stick for the 3rd week in a row, but a technically very sound vault and will allow Cal to drop that fall from Olivia Buckner. So a great performance by the freshman. Really nice extended toe point, legs together throughout, like the little flare at the end as well.
Dominant before coming to Corvallis, competed for New Image Gymnastic in Belleville, New York. 15 level 10 titles, almost perfection for MJ Frazier. A monster 9.95, and here's more positives for California. We've been giving you all the particulars of Maddie Williams coming off the 9.825 on vault. She's typically dominant here on bars.
She does the exact same routine that we just saw from MJ Frazier. Check out her beautiful handstand position. There's her Maloney. Here's her Pac Salto. Just floaty, beautiful. Her double layout will cap this routine. And just the step back, unfortunately. Other than that, it was really superb. Quite a polished bar worker in Maddie Williams.
Came in second at the Pac-12 championships last year. First team All-American, coming off a 9.95 last week.
Great giant swings, building up into that double layout, and just a little too much coming in to nail that landing.
Well, so far, this one living up to our expectations. Number 2, California at 6-1. Tanya Chaplin's team competing in their first conference dual meets after Cal defeated UW last week, and the Beavs also at 6-1. We'll tabulate the scores and give you the details coming up.
Gymnasts, please march to your next event and prepare for competition. Cal will go to the beat. Oregon State to the floor. Coaches, the 2-minute transition begins now.
It's been a very special weekend here in Berkeley. Last night, the rings given out to commemorate last year's Pac-12 championship, all part of the 50th anniversary of Cal Gymnastics, with plenty of bling bling on display. Now, Lisa, not to be self-promoting, but the rise of Cal over the last decade coincides nicely with our time on the air here on Pac-12 networks. I'm not claiming any responsibility. To me, as the layman, everything changed with the recruitment of Tony Ann Williams, who went on to be an Olympian for Jamaica, a powerhouse as we scan the alumni. Better than 40 legends on hand as Cal has raised its national profile over the last 12 years.
Yeah, the Howls have really done an incredible job with this program. Like you mentioned, you'll see in the shiny gold there, that's Nevaeh D'Souza, the All-American from Cal from last season.
Tony Ann's in the house.
Tony Ann's in the house. She's the 2016 Olympian for Jamaica in the Olympics. And yeah, it's just a really great way to galvanize the alumni support when you've got a team that's this good, coming back for a gala last night, watching them get the rings for their second consecutive conference championship really helps keep this momentum going that the Howls have built.
And it bears repeating, given the budgetary constrictions all public universities face. Cal Gymnastics was on the brink of being eliminated, and they are thriving. There's the overall score. I can let you know that Cal has bumped up the margin from 0.15 now to just over a third of a point. To be precise, 0.375 as we continue to take you inside the meet. Check out Cindy Gonzalez.
Her vault here, as I mentioned, is a little bit different than you typically see. She'll do a full twist between the board and the vault, and then needs to get enough repulsion to do that pike somersault. Really clean, a 9.875 for that vault was the tie for her season high and the high water mark for the Beavs there. And then MJ Frazier, 9.95 at the top of the Cal lineup today because of this double out dismount. Watch how she hones in, nails the landing, 9.95 there on a rotation where I felt like Cal was a little bit underscored, but very well deserved 9.95 there for MJ.
Reflecting just how much of a quality meet it's been. Nothing but 49 so far. Getting set for the third rotation. California will dip from being number 2 on the table, number 2 on bars, to merely, air quotes, number 5 here on the treacherous beam. You saw them last week be at their very best, season high, 49.55 at UW. With Oregon State, we know statistically you have to have a best and you have to have a most challenging event. This is a departure, and the Beavs will find their way as the season moves forward. Currently just number 36 in the nation on floor. Unfortunately, no Jade Carey. Understandably so. She's getting ready potentially to defend her Olympic gold coming up in Paris as we continue on Pac-12 Network. We're back at Haas Pavilion where Tanya Chaplin can lean on her experience as a world-class gymnast. Of course, a 6-time All-American at UCLA. Back in the day, in the Pac-10 era, Pac-10 Gymnast of the Year, 87-89. And those are the scores we've been talking about this year for Oregon State on floor.
Yeah, that week 2 was a dip that was unexpected. They had to count a fall on this event. Their first 2 meets, they had to count a fall. And so, you know, you saw the big jump, the mid-197 for them last week was because they hit all 4 events.
And the season high. I'm not great with math, but if you only give me 3 events, I have a shot. Since I was going through the credentials of the coaching staffs, we should acknowledge, beyond what we've been doing in a general sense, some of the achievements that Liz and Justin Howe have been honored with. Reigning National Coach of the Year, 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, 11 straight NCAA appearances, and of course last year the magical run as they moved on to NCAA championships for just the 5th time in program history. And I'll steal from you. I was watching last week in Seattle. Cal was a force early on with a national title on the line.
And Liz Crandall Howell, she is the beam coach here. She was giving that pep talk to Andy Lee. They are such an exquisite beam team. Very focused on all the details.
Lee with 9.875 on bars, was a late scratch last week in Seattle, so her season high is a 9.825, personal best 9.9.
And that's a challenging flight series there, the two connected flight elements. She just had a slight arm check. Should be a half tenth to a 10. I like her work up high on toe. Shows a command and a confidence on the event. It's our leap series. I think she'll do a gainer full hair off the end. She's going to run forward, twist, and flip, and nails the landing. Very clean start, just that one wobble. The Cal Instagram teased us this week with a new dismount from her, but she's still doing the gainer full. To run forward, flip backwards, and twist throughout the way, just exceptional. And she has nailed that landing consistently.
And looks to keep it going on floor. She'll anchor things for the final routine this afternoon. Auspicious start for Andy, who's having fun with her teammates, as we get set to see Oregon State on floor. Getting us underway for the third and final time today. Natalie Briones, whose brother Brandon was a Stanford gymnast, an Olympian in Tokyo in the 2020 games. 9.825 on bars, 9.8 flat on the table here on floor. Set a new personal best last week with a 9.85 in the win over Brown.
Do some front tumbling here to start. Rudy, back layout, step out. Good control. Leaps are very important for her start value. She'll just do 2 tumbling passes, so needs to make sure those are done to full split and full completion of the turns, which hers was. She'll conclude with a double pike. It's a 10th of bonus for doing this at the end. Good landing.
Lot to like about that routine.
Really clean, yeah. So that first pass here, done in combination, really important to have your timing down well. So she'll do the front 1.5 into a back layout. Very smoothly controlled. And then this double pike, when you're doing backward skills like this, you're technically supposed to step back. The gymnast can take a step on the floor exercise, so not sure what the judges are going to do, as she did a little bit of a step forward with her foot there. Maybe a landing deduction for that foot fault.
And since we've been talking coaching staffs, we should acknowledge Katiana Kell. We knew her as Katiana McMillan when she was the 2017 Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year, making the move from student athlete to assistant coach. 9.9 for Lee, a fitting score, as Maddie Williams is set to navigate the beam. Continuing in the all-around, she's got 9.825 on vault, 9.85 on bars. On beam, second team All-American. Personal best, a 9.95. You saw her last week in Washington flirt with a 9.9. 9.875 was the score.
Yep, and I'll be interested off the top. She does an element called a wolf turn. If she does a single wolf turn, she has to add another leap later on in the routine. If she does a double, she doesn't need to. It's a game time decision that she and Coach Liz decide.
Well, if we're talking alumni for Cal, Kiana George with the legendary wolf turn.
Yep. So let's see what happens here. Just does the one. So we'll see her add a leap later on in the routine. Front aerial right to a split jump. Well executed. Moves right down to her flight series. We'll do a back handspring to layout. good control. Her hips got a little off center in the middle of that layout, but she did a nice job pulling it back straight. Her dismount here, it's back handspring gainer full off the side. We saw Andy Lee do it off the end, but she'll do it off side of the beam here. There's the full, holds on for the stick. Has had a little bit of trouble with that during the season, but none today.
And that brings the crowd to its feet. California has been comprehensive with their effort today.
There's the layout. You could see a little bit her left leg gets out of line, off center a bit, but she pulls it back over and you could not even tell. There's that full, I want to see it rise off the beam a little bit more. I would say that's the area where she can get a little deduction for dynamics. You want to see a little bit more height on that dismount.
I can let you know that Natalie Briones wraps up her afternoon with a 9.825, as you can plainly see on floor. That was the number she had in the Pac-12 championships last year. For the only time this afternoon, we can spotlight Savannah Miller, who was remarkable on floor last year. 9.96 times. She has not been as effective this year. This is just her second routine after she went 9-1 and fell a couple weeks ago against Rutgers.
She's an exceptional floor worker. That floor at Rutgers definitely an aberration, and she showed a lot of mental toughness there. I don't know if you could tell at the beginning of her routine, they started her music while the DJ inside was still playing their music, and so hard to hear, but she maintained her composure. Great height on the double tuck, a sizable step back. That's only supposed to be as wide as her shoulders, so will be a deduction. To complete that first sleeve, 360 degrees. I'm not sure she quite made it, but I like the finish. We'll see what the start value looks like for Savannah Miller, but great mental toughness.
And it feels like she's back, reminiscent of the form that she had so consistently a year ago.
Yeah, look at the height on this double tuck. You could take a walk underneath it. So high, chest up, and good control, but that massive lunge was just a little bit too wide.
Got to feel good after having a little bit of an issue a couple weeks ago. We return to the beam for California midway through this third rotation. Almost the 10 that Maddie Williams was looking for. 9.95. She remains dominant. There's Ellis's area. We saw her go 9.8 on bars. On beam, season high, 9.825 last week, personal best of the 9.9.
If you can hear it, the tone and the music really slow down. The gymnast can choose the song that is playing while they're on the balance beam at these dual meets. She's chose some Taylor Swift to calm down here before her flight series. Excellent back handspring layout. Good height on the flip. You want to look for the split positions on this upcoming leap series. You want to see her go over 180, especially on that second one. She'll go the length of the beam here for her dismount, a round off 1.5. A beautiful high dismount takes the hop forward right to Coach Liz.
Yeah, putting up big numbers after Lee went 9-9 to lead things up. Williams matching her career high 9.95. Cesario also with a special routine.
So this good angle shows you, first of all, how narrow the beam is, but also how important it is to be right on line. Her front foot was actually just a tiny bit off, but she managed to make it look flawless, and then a big high dismount. I like how she spots the beam coming around on that final half twist, just the smallest hop forward. 3 for 3 though for the Bears so far.
With the floor still to come for Ella. A lot of big smiles across the California roster. Miller, as we mentioned, much more like the numbers that we saw last year. 9.875 for the second and final time this afternoon. There's Caitlin Garcia, who went 9.825 on the table. The junior from San Diego on floor has hit personal best 9.875 twice this year, including last week.
She'll start with a combination pass there, 1.5 to front layout. Good height on the first. Didn't rise quite as much as I'd like on that layout. Nice extension, those straddle jumps, well performed. Finish with a double tuck here. Great job, very clean landing. Caitlin Garcia really coming on strong on floor this season.
At Oregon State, exceeding expectations. As mentioned, number 36 is an outlier. They're going to be top 20 by the end of the year, looking like it this afternoon.
Yep, very clean 1.5 front layout. I mentioned I'd like a little bit more rise out of that second somersault, but shouldn't be a deduction by college judges. And nice high double tuck. See her two coaches there, Michael Chaplin. Then I don't think we've talked about Brian Carey.
We've not. I was going to wait until we see Jade, but obviously as the last name would connote, a family connection. Her father, and nothing but 9.9s for California. Speaking of those digits, MJ Frazier, 9.9 on vault, matched her career high with a 9.95 on bars. She had California's second perfect 10 here on beam a few weeks ago and went 9.925 last week, number 18 in the nation. A tiny bobble there on her full turn. I was about to talk about, I love the way she does her full turn and her dance throughout. She really dances like she's on the floor, but this flight series, front aerial, back layout. Excellent job throwing her arms down to show command of that skill. This ring leap there takes her eyes off the beam. Her foot is supposed to reach the height of her head. Don't try that at home. Here's her cartwheel, 1.5 dismount. Excellent height, nails the landing. No doubt about it. She buried that landing.
Really exceptional, aside from that tiny bobble on her full turn. This dismount, she does a cartwheel into this as opposed to a round off. She didn't quite get as far to the end of the beam as I would like. You could see she was a tiny bit close, not in danger of, hitting anything, but should not overshadow how beautiful that beam routine was and that she was able to land it perfectly.
With the floor coming up, where she is dynamic as well with a perfect 10 to her credit. And the first team All-American, in fact, the first California Golden Bear to ever achieve a perfect 10 on floor, as she converses with another Cal legend. You talked about Nevaeh D'Souza and what she meant in her competitive career, now an assistant coach. So the level of competition really rising as we get closer to the final rotation, and California backing up their number 5 ranking here on Beam. A 9-9 for Garcia, 9-9 fest here in the third rotation for the first time today. We can focus on Ariana Young back here in the Bay Area, senior from nearby San Mateo, went to San Mateo High. And a week ago, she matched her personal best on floor with a 9.925 against Brown to win the event.
We'll start with the double pike. Excellent landing. Went right into the corner, but knew where she was enough to not step over that white line. Come back with the double tuck. Another well-controlled landing. Do some front tumbling to conclude her routine while showing us some disco moves. Front layout, front full, good control. Really the whole package there from the senior. Great tumbling, fun dance, good leaps.
And she has thrived coming back home to the San Francisco Bay Area last year here on Pac-12 Network. Also went 9.925 against the Stanford Cardinal at Mabel's Pavilion.
Look how closely she landed right up against that white line. Good control on the first pass. The second pass here, the double tuck. Nicely done. Maybe a hair too big of a step, but then there's the front tumbling. You have to show front and backwards tumbling. Great expression, great crowd involvement, a lot of confidence from the senior on this event.
Her family and friends on hand. She'll look to keep it going coming up on floor. 9-9 is the theme, 9.925 for Frazier. We talked about perfect 10 possibilities. Maya Lazan has achieved the feat. In fact, it was Cal's first ever perfect 10 on beam. It came a year ago.
And this routine will have a combination of beautiful artistry and flexibility with big tumbling. She will do a triple series here, 3 elements in combination. 3 back handsprings, or excuse me, 2 back handsprings to the layout. Excellent. Leap series, switch leap to a split jump. Nicely executed. And she does a huge double twist to finish a D element. Watch the height that she gets up off the beam. If she can find the landing, these judges seem ready to throw out the 10. Fantastic job. Beautiful stick. Now, when you land, even if you stick, there can be deductions built in. So her chest was a little forward and her arms wavered just a little bit. We'll see what they decide to do with it. Other than that, it was flawless.
We know what the crowd wants. They're thinking perfect 10. She came so close last week here on Pac-12 Network with a 9.975 at UW. So far today, a 9.925 on vault, 9.825 on bars.
Here's her triple series, 2 back handsprings into the layout. From tip to end. And here's this dismount. Watch the height on the double full, spots the landing, and her chest is forward there. The slightest arm waver. And it looks like we've got a 9.975, a 10 from one judge, a 9.95 from the other. The student section was going crazy.
As the crowd comes alive, make it back-to-back 9.975s on the beam for the sensational Maya Lazan.
So great to see the atmosphere in Haas building the excitement along with this phenomenal program.
And thanks to our bosses for having us on site. If you are an educated consumer, you know some broadcasters are not at the venue. Conference of Champions does it the right way. There's your commentary. Young on 9.85. Ellie Weaver's waited all afternoon for her first routine. We'll see her on beam coming up as well. The sophomore from Vancouver, Washington. On floor, coming off a 9.9 personal best a week ago against Brown.
Probably recognize this music from the HBO show Succession. Really shows off her dramatic dance. Gorgeous. Oh no, double tuck that.
And she's in obvious pain. And this is tough to watch.
Really, really hard to watch.
And I don't think we need to see any more of this.
Nope.
As Ellie Weaver is down.
Yep. She was also slated to go on beam for the Beavers. You can see Ari Young and the other teammates huddling up together. It's so hard to watch your teammate be injured like this. You can see Tanya Chaplin trying to refocus them.
So as Weaver is attended to, we will take a break. You're watching Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics here on Pac-12 Network. Our coverage continues from Northern California. As we saw Ellie Weaver go down with a leg injury, she's been carried off the mat and now receiving some attention. And unfortunately, it's a part of all sports, but changes the entire dynamic of the event. And also we're dealing, as I can't be euphoric now, the numbers tell the story of 9.975. We're dealing with real people with real emotions who now have to go back to work.
Exactly. And Gabby Perret here, a senior. She's been in this anchor position many times, so mentally tough. Cal has already put up a new season high with just their first 5th athletes. So in a way, the pressure is off, but obviously very emotionally charged in the arena right now. Beautiful connection, the front toss to the back tuck.
Gabby put up a 9.875 on bars. This is her final event a week ago. 9.875 personal best, nearly a perfect 10, a 9.975.
It's her leap series. Very well executed. And now she will perform arguably the most unique dismount in college gymnastics. She'll do a side summy and a 1.5 twist off the side, right to the judges, and the tiniest of hops back, but an excellent job to really put an exclamation point on a huge beam set for Cal. At least a 49.65. Unless Gabby goes over 9.9, in which case it'll be even higher.
California utterly dominant on beam, and you hit on it. They're coming off a season high last week of 49.55.
So she flips sideways and then has to get enough momentum to do a backflip with a 1.5 twists and do that in a way where she goes up high enough to complete it, but not back far enough that she lands in the lap of the judges. So really it takes a lot of control to land that as well as she does.
Well, now it's up to Sofia Esposito. A reminder, she is a freshman, the reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, to maintain her concentration, regain her composure, coming off a 9.825 on vault here on floor. 9.875 last week, season high 9.925 against Rutgers.
Front layout to a Rudy, so high just to slide back. Sophia got to compete in front of her home crowd at Rutgers. She's from New York. Got to eat at her family's Italian restaurant in Little Italy. Has so much power. Got to see if she can rein it in on her final pass here. She'll do just a round off into her double pike here. Doesn't need a back handspring. Excellent height, a little bit chest low, takes that step forward, but that means they'll be able to drop the scratch from Ellie Weaver, so a very important routine. Great job by the freshman showing that grit.
Demonstrating why she was so highly touted and heavily recruited coming out of the New York metropolitan area.
And there's her round off double pike. So like I mentioned before, when you tumble backwards, you're allowed to take a step backwards. So by taking the step forward there, she will incur a deduction.
California is going to increase their lead. The only question is, how big will the margin swell to after some extraordinary numbers on beam? With the floor coming up for Cal, beam for Oregon State as we get closer to the tail end of this highly competitive dual meet in the East Bay. With California leading the way. Bears #2 for the second consecutive week. Looking ahead, we can do it as broadcasters. Cal will see #1 Oklahoma next week at a tri-meet in Tempe. But Justin Howell has more business to attend to this afternoon. Pleased to be joined by the co-head coach of the California Golden Bears. Justin, thanks so much for taking the time. The beam scores were extraordinary. What else has stood out to you so far?
Yeah, beam was absolutely phenomenal. I think we got a really hot start on vault and bars. Maybe didn't deliver quite the scores and the landings that we have in the last couple of weeks. So I was really happy to see them, just go in and perform beam the way they do in practice every week.
What do you expect out of this floor lineup in front of this really loud and vibrant crowd?
We're so excited to rotate the floor. We love being back in Haas Pavilion. We've got a great crowd in here tonight. The energy is amazing. So we're excited to go in and show off our floor routines and just have a great time out there.
Are we going to see you with the rally towel, getting the fans whipped up?
Absolutely. That's my job. I'm the rally towel guy. So, yeah, absolutely.
That's how you become National Coach of the Year. Justin, we appreciate the time. Thanks for the visit.
Thank you. Go Bears.
And the Bears have been going in a major way. They've led since the first rotation. The score is building. 0.15 after the first rotation, 0.375 after two. The lead now up to nearly a full point at 0.725 as we take you through the details.
And rotation 3 was exceptional for these athletes. MJ went 9.925. She is tied with Maya Lazon. Both of them nailing their landings on beam. She had the slightest bubble on her full turn, which prevented her from that perfect mark. Maya, on the other hand, phenomenal tumbling and this double full. Watch the height. Just the tiniest of arm checks. One judge went 10, the other went 9.95. She gets a 9.975, and those two are tied for the all-around lead going into rotation 4.
With the final rotation coming up, I gave you now the separation on the scoreboard. And while the Beavs have work to do, still a quality afternoon with nothing but 49s all the way across here in Berkeley. Getting ready for the final rotation. Everybody having a good time here at Haas Pavilion. Those rally flags commemorating the 50th anniversary of Cal Gymnastics. The testament to Title IX, as we saw UW celebrate a half-century last week. I mentioned in passing, I do want to make sure the audience knows, because we're going to get bogged down on what happens in the final rotation. Cal will see Oklahoma next week at the ASU Tri-Meet. Of course, the Sooners, a behemoth, averaging over 198. Coach KJ Kindler's team with back-to-back national championships. Going to be fascinating to see how Cal stacks up against a team they hope to beat for a national title. First, we'll see how they do on the floor.
Yep, you can look at how those scores on floor have risen in the last couple weeks. They have exceptional tumbling. It's all about honing in on the landings and really controlling their power. They're on pace for that elusive 198 if they can get a big 49.65 here.
Well, another outstanding year here in the Conference of Champions. And as we think about how things have evolved, when Utah came to the Pac-12, they brought all of their heritage with them. Few teams can match what UCLA has done historically, but to document the rise of California, Oregon State maintaining their outstanding performances, to see what Arizona and Arizona State have done. And Tabitha Yim is going to jumpstart her alma mater at Stanford. Going to be really intriguing to see how things play out. And we're almost in February. That means that the Pac-12 championships are coming up in March. And I'll tell you, just from personal experience, it has gotten deafening here at Haas Pavilion. It was not this way the first time I walked into this gym, the college gymnastics meet in 2013. There are the particulars for Oregon State, and we're all looking forward to seeing Jade Carey coming up in the final routine. And Jade has been so transparent about what she appreciates about college gymnastics. It's the team component and the camaraderie of competing as a collective.
Yep. Club gymnastics and elite level gymnastics that she's competed at for so long can be very isolating. There's not a ton of athletes competing at that level. So Jade and her dad decided to stay at Oregon State and train in their state-of-the-art facilities as she makes her effort for the Paris Olympics, as opposed to going back to her native Arizona. She trained at Arizona Sunrays when she made the 2021 Olympics, but she's loved the Beavers for so long, committed to them. When it was 2014 when she verbally committed to them, was supposed to join in 2017, deferred that for the Olympics. So she has been, bleeding orange and black for quite a long time.
96 career titles on the collegiate level. Heard the crowd pop once more. Confirmation from our public address announcer. We just witnessed the second biggest beam score in the history of California gymnastics. The accolades continue to grow for a program that has put its imprint on the national scene.
And we're talking about accolades. Liz Crandall-Howell, an exceptional gymnast herself. She was a member of the 91 World Championship team for the U.S. that went silver medal in the team competition.
And also a member of the BYU Hall of Fame. And also a terrific person. Want to thank both coaching staff, so generous in their approach and their time when you were able to chat with them heading into the meet. And here is Sophia Esposito coming off earlier on 9.825 on vault. Here on beam, she's been 9.9 or better in all of her collegiate meets. 9.875 last time up on floor.
And those three elements connected, a little different than you normally see. Super challenging, that switch split in the middle to go right into a layout step out. You'll see another layout step out from her here, connected to a back handspring. And leg up wobble like that means you're a little bit nervous. She was on track, just second guessed herself a little bit, so that'll be about a 2/10 deduction. Check out her double full dismount. Nice and high, great landing. pressure-packed situation for a freshman to be in that leadoff role. She handled it well. Let's take a look at her flight series here. I mentioned she does this layout twice. She does it in combination, and then here in the back handspring. You know, I said she didn't look that off, but from this angle, her hips were definitely not square. So for her to pull it back on, really remarkable strength and mental toughness. And then a beautiful double twist.
Oregon State, number 20 in the nation on beam, coming off a season high 49.5 last week against Brown. California, as mentioned, number 15 in the country on floor, season high 49.55 a couple weeks ago in the quad meet in Utah. For the only time this afternoon, let's highlight Jordan Kane, the junior from Rhode Island. She is a force on the floor. 9.875 2 weeks ago in that quad meet I hit on, then a 9.85 last week at UW.
Difficult front combination pass here. We'll do a front full to a front Rudy. It's a little bit squirrely in warm-ups. Very nicely done. Coach Justin said that is one of the hardest combinations being done on floor in college gymnastics. Oversplit on that straddle. Jordan really a testament to the strength from top to bottom of this bear lineup. She has an Omelianchik on vault. She has a huge Ray on bars. She can really contribute on all four events. A 1.5 front layout to conclude. Nicely done. A little bit of an awkward step into that zone.
Maximizing the opportunity of her lone routine today.
Let's check out this first pass again. I mentioned how difficult it is to connect these elements. So does a front full and immediately front 1.5. Tiny leg separation on that Rudy. But exceptional difficulty, and I like seeing diversity of elements than the traditional college gymnastics sort of compulsory routines that we tend to see.
9.8 for Esposito will go from freshman to freshman, with Ellie Weaver going down with the apparent leg injury on floor. The substitution will be Olivia Buckner. We saw her with a 9.3 on vault. The freshman from Riverton, Utah, makes her competitive debut on the beam. You're nodding your head. Just say it.
Yep. No,
feet away from you.
She competed in the Super 16 meet on this event.
It takes a team.
But last week in exhibition, she went 9.8.
Okay. I saw an exhibition on there. You do the rest of the work. I'm saying goodbye.
Flawless thus far on that layout series. Now she'll do a stag ring leap. Puts the head back. Tiny bobble. You can see her taking a minute to regather herself. It's a side aerial here. Very nice and floaty. And she'll do her 1.5 dismount out of a back handspring here. So really needs to generate some momentum. And just a tiny hop forward, but really great job by Olivia Buckner, the freshman in a super pressure-packed position to be subbed in at the last minute and stick that beam routine.
And we just saw Ellie Weaver walk past us on crutches. And here's a look at Buckner's second routine as a collegiate gymnast on beam.
Now you watched her toes come up on that. So she jumps and she has to throw her head back. Like I said before, your foot has to nearly hit your head. Really intricate views there showing how important it is to trust your training and be confident on beam. We see the side aerial. And here's her dismount. That back handspring into the 1.5 and takes this hop forward.
Meanwhile, as mentioned, Ellie Weaver has returned. What an amazing teammate as she has the ice pack affixed to her left leg. She's here to continue support her teammates. Just remarkable. Kane, a new personal best, 9.9. Maddie Williams wraps up the all-around. 9.825 on vault, 9.85 on bars. She was dynamic on beam, a 9.95 here on floor. She is capable of equally large numbers. Went 9.85 a week ago.
What I love about her floor is that you could take a picture at any time in this routine and it would be exquisite. Her toes are pointed, her shapes are excellent. And then she has strong tumbling to match, a front layout to a Rudy here. Excellent. Here's that wolf turn again. She'll do 2 of them. Ooh, unfortunately, she only goes 1.5, and putting that hand down is technically a fall on that skill. We will see what these judges do with that. It's also really important for her start value. So here's her last pass, 1.5 to a front layout. Very nicely landed. Just a stunning end, but you can see the look on her face. She knows she messed up on that wolf turn. To the layperson, it's really hard to tell. We'll take a look at it after this first tumbling pass. That front layout to the Rudy. Didn't quite get that all the way around, but here's this wolf turn, needs to spin twice, and on that 1.5, you know, she made it 1.5 around and put that arm down. Technically a fall. We'll see what the judges decide to do with it.
A reminder, Cal with a lead of nearly 3/4 of a point coming into this final rotation. So they have latitude after putting up that massive number on beam.
I saw one judge put up a 9.9 start value. As we take a look at Ellie Weaver.
Well, she came directly past us on crutches, and it's amazing given all the adversity she's dealing with. She wants to be out here supporting her teammates. And Buckner filling in admirably in the second routine of her young college career on beam. It's a pair of 9.8 so far for Oregon State. As Jennifer McMillan wraps up her competitive day, she went 9.875 on bars. On beam a week ago, a 9.875.
She'll do a pitch front to a back tuck. Oh, a back handspring swing down, pardon me. Love that series. I was getting ahead of myself. Coach Chaplin talked about how hard she's worked to get into this beam lineup. It is so deep. Really excellent event for the Beavers. Do a switch half here. Not quite at 180. Ooh. A little bit of a foot fault between that switch leap and the split jump. She needs 2 leaps connected there for her start value. But a very nice stick. A good routine, just a few little errors on the leaps. And, you know, I mentioned that it may have been a fall for that last floor routine. But first, let's give this flight series its due because I misidentified it. The front toss to a back handspring swing down, really cool variety for your flight series. And here's her gainer layout full from a stand. Nice form. Slides the heels together for the stick. Third hit routine for the Beavers.
And I thought I saw a 9.5 go up, so I think you're going to be in the right vicinity for Maddie Williams as we await confirmation with Ella Cesario next up on floor.
Yeah, I saw one judge went 9.8, one judge went 9.5. Both gave it a 9.9 start value, but they're still waiting on the scores. They need to be within 0.3 of range, but clearly one judge took it for the dismount, or excuse me, for the discount that it was. And the other didn't, and it looks like 9.5, just like you called it. But, you know, if they technically took the whole fall for that, it would have been perfect otherwise. So my understanding of the amount of that deduction must be what's off there.
And now you know the entire overview. Thanks for handling all of the intricacies. Cesario having another fine afternoon, typically in the all-around, but no vault today. 9.8 on bars, 9.9 on beam. On floor, the scores have been building after the 9.8 in the Super 16 opener, went 9.875 last week, a new personal best.
Nice connection there, the 1.5 to the front full. Before she goes to her final double tuck here. Double tuck. Excellent landing. You don't have to stick, but she shows great control by doing so there. Really brought the house down.
And mobbed by her teammates here in Bear territory.
Love the rally towels and the energy in here. The last pass here, the double tuck. You mentioned earlier she's 5'7", a little bit taller gymnast. Harnesses that into that phenomenal landing. See the coach's arms go up in the background.
Well, moving forward, Cal is going to be tough to beat, irrespective of the competition. Seeing #1 Oklahoma next week at the Sun Devil Tri-Meet in Tempe on Friday. Arnie Young back here in the Bay Area. I mentioned she went to San Mateo High, about a 35-minute drive across the bay. McMillan, a 9.775. We saw Young go 9.85 in her previous routine on floor. Here on beam, personal best 9.9 last year, coming off a pair of 9.875s.
And she works up so high on releve. She goes into her flight series, a front aerial. Supposed to connect that immediately to the back top. Had a slight bobble in between, but did show continuous movement. But look how high up she was on toe going into that full turn. Shows great control. And you could see she had a few arm wavers between each of those skills, but managed to connect them. Super important. And she will dismount right off the end here. Front gainer full and nails the landing. Showed her senior composure there. Just a few tiny bobbles throughout, but she would not let you know that. She just kept moving, kept working. Her dismount here, I said she goes off the end. We see this gainer every different way. This one is forward. She swings the leg up, gets the momentum to do the full twist, and nails the landing.
got to feel good to come back to your home area and get it done.
Yeah, I think she's looks a little pissed, actually. She's
Well,
a little
high
upset.
standards. That's
Yep.
how you become a champion.
Exactly.
Cesario, nearly a 9.9. Takes a 9.875. Maya Lozano always having a good time. She will wrap up the all-around. 9.925 on vault, 9.825 on bars, and a 9.975 moments ago on beam.
Just like on beam, shows off flexibility through some fun, unique poses like that starting pose.
She went 9.975 a couple weeks ago with the quad beat, matching her career high, currently number 6 in the nation here on floor.
Front double, punch front, right to the corner. E-passing combination, super difficult. Really enjoys performing, good expression, crowd engagement. So hard to do all those things at once while thinking about performing difficult tumbling. Dance moves like this, super important to your start value as well. Combination pass to close, 1.5 to a front full. Excellent landing. Wow. Haas is going to explode. They're all throwing up the 10s.
As I mentioned, she came awfully close 2 weeks ago with a 9.975.
Just a brilliant routine, a combination of the hard tumbling. We'll see her 2 passes here that are jam-packed with difficult connections. So she'll twist forwards twice and then immediately bound into the tuck. Great control to stay in bounds. And then this back to front here, 1.5. Front full twist. Excellent control. I see a 10 from one judge and a 9.95 from the other. So again, 9.975 for Lozano, flirts with perfection.
Another remarkable afternoon produced by the gymnast who currently leads the country in the all-around. Have a day, Maya Lozano.
They were so excited to be back at Haas, perform in front of their home crowd. They've truly delivered.
Perhaps that's why Young was miffed. The 9.825. Here is Sydney Gonzalez for the second and final time today. Went 9.875 on the table on beam. Put up a 9.975 last year at ASU. Season high came in week 1 at 9.85.
She'll do another front to back here. Front aerial, right to a back tuck. Excellent. Really important senior leader on the squad. Does a few other unique connections here. Cat leap right into the side aerial, well landed. Very clean switch split. Goes right down the end of the beam. That front gainer full once more. Excellent job. That gets the Beavers jumping.
If they're going to fall short, they'll be the runner-up this afternoon, but still a very comprehensive effort from the Oregon State Beavers on the road today.
Yeah, and sets up Jade Carey very well in that anchor spot. She's had a long time to wait between her 2 beam routines, but again, here's that front to back series. Front layout, or excuse me, front aerial to the back tuck. In slow motion, it looks like that wasn't connected as quickly as it was live, and here's her front gainer full. lands perfectly.
So it's been a huge afternoon for Maya Lozon, back-to-back 9.975s on beam and floor. MJ Frazier has been almost as good. MJ, you'll recall, had a perfect 10 on floor last year. In fact, became the first California gymnast to achieve perfection in this event. A 9.95 2 weeks ago, 9.875 last week. Her best score today, a 9.95 on bars, matching her personal best.
We've seen a lot of twisting from the previous athletes. Get ready to see the biggest flips in college gymnastics. She opens with a double layout, and then she will do a huge combination pass to close. Excellent. Wow, those ring and leap positions, just fantastic. Love the showmanship, engaging her teammates, the crowd. Mentioned the combination pass. We'll do a front tuck through to a double tuck. So difficult. Phenomenal landing.
Another memorable meet for MJ Frazier. 9.9 on vaults, 9.95 on bars, 9.925 on beam. As for floor, we'll find out.
Truly brilliant. The highlights of this routine, I mean, starts off with this double layout. So difficult, beautifully stretched. But floor is, the dancing is just as important as the tumbling. Has great musicality, good expression, and then goes into this tumbling. Doesn't need to do tumbling this difficult, but she can. Looks like we got a 9.9 from one judge, 9.95 from the other, but 9.925. Just a phenomenal day. This freshman is, or excuse me, sophomore campaign.
Building on what she did last year,
Exactly.
is one of the best first-year performers in the nation. Folks, I have read your tweets. Let's acknowledge Gonzalez. Personal best 9.925. You think we talk too much, and you're right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jade Carey on beam.
She always looks so nonplussed. She has such a great game face. Do a front aerial in connection to a straddle jump. Excellent. She has gone 10 here. She's gone 10 on every event, called the Gym Slam, only one of 13 in history to do that. And a very nice layout series. You wouldn't be able to tell that she was slightly off. One arm wavered just a little bit, and she covered it up nicely. Switch lead to a switch side. Loses her shoulders a little bit, not quite at 180. So got a 1/10 deduction. Works down. We'll do a gainer full off the side. Excellent job. Not her very best because she's been perfect before, but a solid day for the Beavers on beam.
And always a delight to see Jade in person with 9.8 on bars. getting ready for the Olympic Games earlier this year, a 9.9 in the season opener, 9.95 last week, and a footnote to Gonzalez, the 9.925, a season high.
Here's her gainer full. And the routine that she's doing here is obviously, it's not what she'll be doing for the Olympics. So she is training many different routines, so many different skills at a time. A lot of other athletes, college athletes, have decided to take this year off. Kayla DiCello from Florida, Jordan Childs from UCLA. Jade is one of the only few who's decided to stay in college, train at Oregon State, continue with her team, contribute where she can. Leon Wong at Florida is another one who's doing that. Team USA really has an embarrassment of riches to choose from as they lead to Paris.
And as we talked about with the 9.925 confirmed for Frazier, Jade's father Brian, now an assistant after his years working for USA Gymnastics. It's a testament to the skill set of Andy Lee that she anchors the floor. 9.875 on bars, 9.9 on beam. In this discipline, a personal best of 9.95 last week on 9.9 in Seattle.
Huge height on the double tuck. A little bit of a slide back. She does a dance move here, a turn, double Y turn. That is one of the hardest dance moves you'll see. Last week she stepped forward a little bit out of it. That one very well done. Senior knows where to find the camera. There's her front tumbling, effortless. Ring position may not have quite been all the way up to her head, but the judges' angles may have missed that based on where they're sitting. Just an exquisite artistic performance, though. Really beautiful. Capped off this phenomenal day for the Bears.
Emblematic of an outstanding performance by the number 2 ranked team in the nation for the second straight week, program high for California, and they have their eyes on the prize after making it to the national finals last year. This year they're ready to take the next step and win it all.
And they still have room to grow. They have some scores that can get higher on vault. They weren't perfect on their bars dismounts. Beam was just about as good as we've seen from them based on it being the second best in their history. But a lot to expect out of this team.
Celebration is on here in Berkeley. We await the final score. It's going to be confirmation of the California victory to go to 7-1, 2-0 in early Pac-12 competition. Oregon State will fall to 6-2. This is their Pac-12 opener. And it only gets as challenging moving ahead for both teams. Next up for the Beavs next Friday on the road in Salt Lake City to take on the Red Rocks, number 5 Utah, with their convincing win last night. You saw it here on Pac-12 Network over Arizona State. And I keep hyping what lies ahead for Cal. They're going to see number 1 Oklahoma to try-meet next week. California with a new season high, nearly getting to 198. 197, 950. And you saw it live on Pac-12 Network.
What an exceptional day here inside Haas Pavilion. The first home meet for these Bears, second in the country, and put up a new season high today, 197.95. MJ Frazier continued her winning ways, over 9.9 on every event. She started things off with this double twisting Yurchenko vault, so challenging, an excellent performance there. And this bar routine in 995 matches her career high. This double layout, dismount, really phenomenal bar set for her. And then the event where she was just recently perfect, really nicely done. Hones in on the 1.5 twist, nails the landing, celebrates with her teammates, season high for them over on beam. And then I talked about this tumbling, the hardest being done in college gymnastics, the double layout first pass. And I'm very excited to welcome in MJ Frazier and Maya Lazan here. Congratulations on an awesome, awesome day. How was it being home at Haas? Maya, we'll talk to you first.
It was great. I mean, it's always exciting to compete here at our home arena. I mean, the fans just bring so much energy, and, you know, we have so much love on the team, so to be able to spread that amongst the crowd, it was just such an amazing feeling. So, yeah, it's great to be back here at Haas.
That's great. MJ, you guys have had the season high score today. How do you harness that and take it into the meet at Arizona State next week?
Like we do every day, just keep being one day better and just focusing on like going to the gym, staying efficient. And even though we did so great today, we're gonna think about like how can we get better? Like it's not, oh, we did so good last week, let's try to do that again. It's how can we be one day better and just do what we're doing in the gym and translate that into the competition. And I believe if we do that, it will do great.
Absolutely. Now you two keep breaking each other's records. Do you look at the scores? Is that something you guys even think about or talk about?
I honestly think we just build off of each other. It's not even anything we talk about or think about. We just get happy for each other, and it's like, Maya does something, it's awesome. And then if I do something, Maya is awesome, it's awesome. It's just, we just build off of each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think we come in here and we push each other to be better and great every single day. You know, we work hard in practice, and, you know, we uplift each other, and then bringing that into competition, you know, it's just a great time for us to really uplift each other and push each other in competition. But it's so amazing. This season has just been really funny because we're just going back and forth. But, you know, it's so great to share this with MJ because, I mean, last season she had such a great season. I'm so excited that she just keeps breaking more and more records. So, yeah, it's been amazing, though.
That's so great. Yeah, the sky is truly the limit for you guys both and your team. Congratulations on the win today, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
Well, another fantastic day in the Pac-12 here on the Pac-12 Network. You can see the final score there, 197.95 for the Golden Bears. Your Beavers, 196.775, as you see the two most dominant athletes in the conference right now. Thank you so much for joining me. For my co-host, Brian Weber, we will see you next time on the Pac-12 Network.